Now let me explain what an n-gon is. Does that make any sense to you? N-gon? Be gone, n-gon. He was in Ghostbusters. Yes, he was. N-gon. He had a big gun. Anyway, n-gon. Well, you know what a polygon is, don't you? A polygon means a multi-sided face. So what would an n-gon mean to you? Would that be a polygon on steroids? Actually, yes, it would. No polygons. Right, that would make sense because you're an artist. But mathematicians use the word n to denote some unknown number, right? So n-gon means it could be any number of things, any number of sides, sorry. So because we already have triangles and polygons, it's just going to imply that it's 5-sided or 6-sided or 7-sided or 8-sided. It used to be in the old days they made you stick to 3-sided modeling or 4-sided modeling. Now they give you this option. It's confusing to talk to beginners, though, about n-gons. And the thing is that we want the n-gons there. I'm sorry, we don't want to create n-gons. We want the polygons there because what we're going to do is we're going to do a bridge, and we need to have a polygon small enough to bridge across. Now, I told you could put the number in and then hit return, and it does show up, actually, as long as create n-gons is off. I can put in, and by the way, this continues to be live until you sort of click on live select and click in the world. That button continues to be alive, and we're doing edge cut. It continues to be alive. I can do 10, right? Oh no, that's too many. I can do 5. I can do 4. And the other thing that's absolutely pretty cool about this thing is that you can interact with it. You can be involved, and that means that you can add more or less. Notice that it did it to 5. So we want to go back to the original. And now I'm interacting with it. So I've got 1, 2. I'm moving my mouse to the right. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can do millions or very little. Let's do, again, I'm doing this by eye. I want this to be in the middle. So I've done essentially 4, right? 4 divisions make 5 sections. That's one of those mysterious things. 4 divisions make 5 seconds. So that's all good for me, right? Now I'm done. Now the next goal is to do some bridging. I only want one of those. I don't want the whole thing. And look, because of the last operation, I have to only select visible elements back on. So I only select this. Now I'm going to use that. Notice that it always orbits around whatever you've selected. And I'm going to select the other side, zoom out a little bit, and zoom back in. And then I'm going to go and do my bridge. And hopefully, oh, I did it wrong. See, you got to watch carefully what you're doing. Now, the only other thing is I forgot to do my extrude just a little bit because I got a huge radius there. You probably wouldn't have that. By the way, that could be part of your design. You may want to have the radius in your design. It's up to you. But I don't in this particular instance, so I'm going to extrude just a little bit first, and then I'm going to go to do the bridge. So there's bridge into that corner right over there. Boom. Pretty nice. I mean, is this a Parsons chair? Not yet. But at the same time, we're learning the very basic elements about how to put these things together piece by piece by piece using subdivision surface modeling. Now, what's interesting about this, I can also turn off that hypernerves if I want. If I don't really like that smooth surface, all I have to do is click that X, that check mark right there. And when I do, it turns it into a square thing like that, which I can then go in and manipulate a little bit further. All right? I just want to show you that you can always turn that off and on and see where you're at. But as you notice, all the smoothness and the roundness, the kinds of things that you might like in chair, believe it or not, straight right angle edges are cutting and very uncomfortable. So this kind of makes a more comfortable look to the item. All right, good enough. Now the next thing we're going to do the same thing, just repeat it. In this case, I'm going to grab that corner and that corner. And I'm going to extrude, right? And, oh, I'm going to extrude just a little bit and then a little bit more. And then I'm going to have 2 backs on my chair. So there's the first one, the geometry for the first one. Then I'm going to go up. Here's the geometry for the second one. And then I'm going to go up and have little cap on top. Okay? Very nice. So maybe my proportions are a little bit wrong. If I don't like my proportions, I'm going to go ahead and use this marquee selection tool. And I'm going to deselect only select visible elements. And I'm going to select all those points right there. And I'm just going to grab them and pull them down a little bit. They were a little bit too high. And then at the same time, I might scale them only in the Z height. I'm sorry, I'm an American, so the Z height is the Y height in this European program. Z means up and down, or Y in this program means up and down. All right, so I'm ready to go. I've got my thing happening the way I want it. I'm going to turn off that only select, I'm going to turn it back on, the only select visible elements. Remember I told you I use the navigation key to zoom in all the time. I want to work on this section of the chair, so I've selected them. I hit the S key, they come closer to me. That's excellent. And now I can kind of quickly go in here, choose this and this, and then orbit around with the 3 key, choose that and that, and then say bridge between the two. Oops, I forgot something, didn't I? Right, I didn't extrude, so let's extrude it again. Of course I did that just to tweak you. Had it work. Good. We're going to bridge there. We're going to bridge there. Okay? Now, very nice. Now, we can also do what we did before with the edge cut. But you know what? Because computers are redundant, because there's different ways to do the same thing, let's try it a little differently. In this case, I'm going to extrude again. Right? And then I'm going to bridge those gaps. It amounts to the same thing, right? It amounts to the same thing. The difference is that I'm going to grab these points right here. I'm going to use that marquee tool. Only select visible elements is still off from before. I'm going to select those. And using the axes in the world, I'm going to grab that red axis and pull them back a little bit to make a more comfortable feeling back. Now, I'm fully aware that this is not the most comfortable looking chair that you've ever seen, okay? But we're slowly but surely what we're doing is we're learning how to work this program. What I'm going to do also, the back is pretty thick, you know, pretty thick. So I'm going to change that just a little bit by selecting all these points along here in the front. And I'm doing it by brushing over the top. I'm shift selecting these guys, shift selecting these guys. Now I'm going to orbit around so I can get the other side. Shift select here, shift select, shift select. I'm brushing over everything. And what you can see is that I've pretty much selected everything on the front plane there. And I'm going to go into the side view. If I want to, I can turn on garage shading here. I'm going to hit the S key so I zoom in on that. And what I'm going to try to do is change. Oh, I missed a point. I see that because one didn't come along. Let's go find out which one it is. Wow, that looks just awful. I missed a lot of points, actually. So let's go find out which ones they are. It seems like I missed some here and here and here and here. So let's get them all back. And I'm going to turn off only select visible elements to do this. Again, it's a little bit of an expert thing. You want to be careful about it. We're going to turn around and we're going to go on the back side of this guy after we've done this to make sure we haven't chosen any things on the back side. But clearly, those parts were so close together that we needed to do this. The points, I mean, those points were so close together that we needed to do this to make sure we got them all. And just to test, I'm going to grab the red key. Yeah, I seem to have gotten them all now. All right, now I need to go in the back and make sure that I didn't do one of those by accident. And it seems like I did. So I'm going to hit the control key and brush. Oh, actually, before I do it, I'm going to turn off. Sorry, it is already off. I'm going to turn on only select visible elements. Now I'm not selecting anything on the other side. That's good. And it looks to me like I'm only moving those points that are on the front side of the object. Is that true? Seems to be true.